This is Mr. Hardesty. Let's solve the next problem using the law of detachment. Determine whether each conclusion is valid based on the given information. If not, write invalid. Explain your reasoning. Given. If a point is a midpoint of a segment, then it divides the segment into two congruent segments. W is the midpoint of segment DC. Conclusion. Segment DW is congruent to segment WC. We want to know if detachment works in this problem. Let's review detachment. Detachment says if P, then Q, P the hypothesis, Q the conclusion, and P is a true statement. If that is the case, then Q will follow. That's the law of detachment. Let's evaluate this problem. If a point is a midpoint of a segment, then it divides the segment into two congruent segments. There's our if-then statement. The P portion, a point is a midpoint of a segment. There's our hypothesis. The conclusion, after then, it divides the segment into two congruent segments. That's Q. If P, then Q. The next statement, W, is the midpoint of DC. This is a specific way for this problem to reinforce the hypothesis. That is, a point is a midpoint of a segment, and in this statement we say W is the midpoint of segment DC. So P is true and has been reinforced. Then Q must follow. The conclusion are that the two segments are congruent, which in our original if-then divides the segment into two congruent segments. So detachment is valid in this situation because we have followed the logical order. Given, if Rosario goes to the gym, he will wear athletic socks. Rosario is wearing athletic socks. Conclusion, Rosario is at the gym. Does this support the steps of detachment? Let's try our if-then evaluation. Here's P, if Rosario goes to the gym, followed by Q, he will wear athletic socks. The next statement, Rosario is wearing athletic socks. This is another way to state a form of the conclusion with the athletic socks. In other words, the Q has been stated before the hypothesis P, and then we want the conclusion to follow, Rosario is at the gym. Well, that was the original hypothesis P. This is detachment in reverse, which means this logic does not work, and we would say it's invalid.